Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my makeup inventory for the beginning of 2021. This is how we are starting the year, and the situation at the time that I'm filming is also still that there's things on the way to me that I haven't received yet. So these numbers aren't even exactly final, but I can't wait any longer. These packages from the US are just lost somewhere in translation, and we'll just leave them lost as they are and update the inventory as things come in. But it was a very interesting journey to go through my whole collection. First, I decluttered everything, and you've seen those videos already on my channel. If you haven't, there's 4 declutters. I kind of kept it short, but there are a few categories that I didn't show you, in which I actually eliminated all liquid eyeshadows, all single pot eyeshadows that I had. So you can think of all of my Super Shock shadows from Colourpop. I eliminated a lot of the liquid liners I have because I don't use liquid liner and I only have it for creative purposes. So yeah, I did a lot of cleanup, and now I went and counted everything that is left. I have to say I was a little bit surprised. I thought I reduced my collection by a lot this year. No. Very simply no. Because I bought a lot of things in other categories. So we're gonna go through it all. I keep it all in an Excel sheet, and the first date I had done this for was the January 2019. Then I had midway 2019 and January 2020, and now January 2021. So we have 3 years of inventory to look at, and I think that's quite interesting. And most of the times I have done this also after a declutter. The midway point of the year 2019 was just because it was an interesting moment to see things, but then at the end of the year I did another declutter, so the numbers changed again for the January after. So I'm gonna ignore that, but we're gonna take a look at the different categories. They're a bit mixed to how I felt like writing them down. So let's go through it. I'm gonna start with lipsticks. Liquid lipsticks, I currently have 48. I was so surprised. I thought I have quite a really overseeable number of liquid lipsticks. They're all in one and a bit, let's say, organizer. It all looks good. I know what I have and I get to use them more. There's still 48 of them. January last year I had 50, so I have 2 less this year, and January 2019 I had 76. A ton. But that comes all with all of my Colourpop that are slowly going bad, and I just toss them as I notice that they're going bad or I haven't used them in a long time. Then gloss. This year I have 28 glosses in my collection, and it's 1 more than the year before. I am actually surprised of this because I like gloss a lot these days, and actually could wear one right now, but before we went on lockdown I enjoyed wearing gloss a lot. So I'm surprised that there's only 1 more than last year, and I'm very happy with it. They again fit into a small container, and that works great for me. I feel like the numbers versus the actual storage really are counterintuitive, or just they really don't fit the same way. They don't, I don't know, visually it doesn't look like that much, and then I count them and they're like, ooh. Regular bullet lipsticks, it includes bullets and, for example, the Colourpop Lippy Sticks that are just regular lipsticks. I have 50 now. 50, it's so much. And last year I had 65, so I have 15 less. And that comes from the fact that I decided to get rid of, or to separate myself from my MAC collection, because I had bought lipsticks that I didn't want to get rid of from MAC, and I feel really bad about doing that because they're a bit more expensive and they're almost like a signature collection for me, but it's not things I use, so what is the point? right? What is the point? Working towards a more curated collection means that you have to let go of things. The only thing is that I struggle so much because I don't want them to go to waste. So I am looking to find a better home for my MAC lipsticks. Then we move on to palettes, and I just did my declutter of palettes. I just did my yearly ranking of palettes in collaboration with my friend Mariam. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it up here. It was a lot of fun and a very challenging thing to do for me to rank my palettes. But I now have 28 eyeshadow palettes with 2 on the way. Yeah, 2 on the way. So 30 eyeshadow palettes, and that's 17 more than last year. How did that happen? How did that happen? It's incredible. I don't know. Last year I only had 13, and I go through cycles of wearing or liking eyeshadow palettes that are pre-made, and then going towards only singles. And I'm clearly in a phase of liking pre-made eyeshadow palettes, and it could be because, I don't know, they're easier to use probably, but I am still really enjoying my single eyeshadows, and I have a lot of fun using them and making my BYOPs that I've done all year and I'm gonna continue doing. So just custom palettes and duping the vibes of palettes that I would like to buy, but I realize I already have the colors and things like that. So eyeshadow palettes was a lot, very confronting. I still think my collection is quite curated in the sense that I love all of the eyeshadow palettes that I have, and there's still a question mark about what to do with the Jaclyn Hill palette, but it seems like we're gonna depot it. Anyways, I mentioned single eyeshadows, and I have a lot of those, and these are only in pans. So these are in my Z palettes right here, and I make my little custom palettes from, or duping the vibes palettes from. These exploded this year. I have 605, and I have more pigments and single eyeshadows coming my way from orders from indie brands. So Tamitanuka, Divina Cosmetics, and Cliona Cosmetics. These are orders I made in December that still are coming to me. Not a ton, but there's 140 more than last year. 140. I think part of it is the ones that Makeup Geek sent me. Those were around 60 shadows, I think, that they sent in PR when they rebranded at the beginning of last year, and that's a big chunk of it. But the rest, yeah, I depotted a palette or 2 this year. I pressed pigments this year from Tamitanuka, and then the rest I just bought, I guess. I don't know where they come from. I have a ton of new single eyeshadows. I have to say I don't feel the urge or the need to declutter much of this collection yet. I did last year, and that was the first time I decluttered in forever. But I feel like I don't have a lot of doubles right now, and what I do have doubles of are like the old Makeup Geek and the new Makeup Geek, but I kind of still want to keep it because not all of them are a precise match, and I like that they're round. I like that they are round. What I'm thinking of is actually re-panning all of my Nabla eyeshadows because they're a little bit bigger than the regular 26 eyeshadow pan. But we'll see. We'll see. That is just a project. If maternity leave I have nothing to do and I really feel like playing with makeup. So that is definitely the biggest contributor to the number in my collection. Let's move on to face palette. Face palettes, I only have 2, and that's my Unlocked palette by Hourglass and my Ghost Blush palette from Hourglass. That's it. And I'm very happy because I don't use them very much, and I find myself really reaching for always either now cream blushes or I don't know, my compacts, and not even my pans, let's say, are used a lot. So I only have 2 face palettes, and that is 3 less than last year, because last year I had 5 and the year before I had 6. So that's it. That's a number that I'm happy with, and I don't need more face palettes, to be honest. Continuing on the face categories, highlighters, I have 12, one more than last year, and that is actually very much in line with my low buy and how that went. I only bought one highlighter last year, and that is the one extra that I have from the year before. In 2019, I had 16. Those included some highlighters that I had in eyeshadow, in pans that I got rid of. But yeah, I only have 12 highlighters. And to be honest, I am happy and content with that because I love the formula of Nabla skin glazing, and I don't need anything else in my life. So these 12 highlighters that I have, I think just cover all of my bases, and I love them. Blush, also surprising, but I know why it went like that. I have 37 blushes. This includes creams, powders, and pans. And you've seen me declutter my pans, and that's where I lost the 7 that I have less than last year. I bought some new blushes this year, and then I decluttered some, so the total is 7 less than last year. And to be honest, that's enough. But I have a hard time not buying blushes because they're pretty, because they're either in different textures, because they're either shimmery. I don't know. Today I'm wearing a liquid blush, which is something that I don't usually wear. I don't know, I love blushes, and I wear blushes every single time that I do my makeup. So the goal would be to use these guys more because I don't use them enough, because they're matte and because they're in a pan and away from my daily drawer that I have. Anyways, blushes. Next is bronzers and contours. I have 8, same number as last year. So I decluttered one, I think, and I bought one. No, I bought 2, so I must have decluttered 2. Right? Makes sense. And that includes cream, powder, and the pans that I just showed you. It's the same as last year. 2 years ago I had 12, so a smaller collection. And there, I actually feel like my collection is so small, and I'm using the same things over and over, which is, I realize now, is a very weird feeling for me, having so many eyeshadow palettes, for example, that I'm like, oh, what am I gonna use today? Or being used to doing a shop my stash. But to be honest, I'm actually quite happy with the amount of bronzers that I have. I have to say, I am not excluding getting more this year because there's 2 on my radar already, and I don't want to buy them both because I think 2 new bronzers would be a bit much, and I may want to pan one this year. So I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna see how I feel. I don't know. It's a weird getting used to, and I think that's gonna be the message this year for me, is gonna get used to a smaller collection psychologically. I have so much makeup, but for my base and my face products, I have a smaller collection, and I wish I could be not weirded out by the fact that I use the same bronzer all the time. I mean, what else would you use? Normal people only have one of each and they're happy with it. It's like I see my friends or my mom and their collections and they're happy and they only have one, and that's fine. I'm like, why can't I do that? What is wrong with my brain? So I am trying to condition myself step by step to be okay with that. Then, continuing on the face, foundations, I have 5, same as last year, because some things I decluttered, some things I finished, and I got new ones recently. So I have 5 foundations. This includes the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, for example, which could be counted as a tinted moisturizer, but no, it's in my foundation drawer, so it's a foundation. Concealers, I have 6. I had 9, and actually the difference is that I decluttered 1 and I finished 2 or 3 and I bought 1. Yeah, I decluttered 1, I bought 1 and I finished 3. So that makes the 3 difference from last year. I'm very happy. I would like to bring it down to 2 or 3. That is the goal. I don't need more. So, but I'm gonna use them the ones I have, I think I like all of them, so I'm just gonna continue using them. Powders, I have 8 powders. I had 10 last year, so there's 2 less this year, and that's because I decluttered my loose powders, and I broke one in my project pan, and I am still going to be on a no-buy for powders. I just have so many and I don't need more. I'm powdering less anyways. My skin is a little bit less oily, so I don't need more powders. No more powders for Alice. Let's move on to eye pencils, for example. And you've seen my declutter, or there was very little to declutter. I love colorful eye pencils. I wear them all the time. As you can see, I want to match them to my eyeshadow. So I have 40 eye pencils, and last year I had 44, so I have 4 less this year. It's not too bad, actually. The year before I had 48. So it's okay. I can't actually tell that there's 40 of them, but this is all my pencils, and I'm happy with it. I wear them, I have them here, I love them, so it's all fine. It's all good. And moving on to lip pencils. That went up a lot, and that's the fault of an order I made at Colourpop. But I had 21 last year, and I have 34 this year. So I have 13 more. And I bought a set of 10 from Colourpop that you'll see in a haul when the rest of the stuff comes. And I bought a few single pencils from Nabla this year. One recently that you saw in my Black Friday haul from their new launch. One was in a liquid lipstick plus lip pencil duo, I think, and some Neve Cosmetics pencils that I got. I also pulled out from my declutter pile of the last year a few Colourpop lip pencils because I'm wearing lip pencils much more. I really like the look of it. I have now a lip pencil with an accent of a lipstick on top, and I've been wearing a lot of lip pencil plus gloss before the lockdown. And so that is a little bit why it went up so much. Gel liners, I decluttered all of them except for one. I kept the black Inglot one because it will be revivable forever. And you never know when you want like a really thin line on your lash line, if you want to use, or I want to use lashes or things like that. I kept that one, but I decluttered everything else. I don't use liquid liners or gel liners anymore, so it's pointless for me to have them. And so that went from, how many did I have? I had 5, it went to 1. Liquid liners, I still have 8 from 13. I decluttered 5, and I keep like one black one for indeed the lash line, and I have a few colorfuls like Nabla Klimt that was a limited edition, and it's the most beautiful gold that you can do accents with. Same thing, I have just things that if I want to do some accents. I haven't worn them a lot, and I may slowly just get rid of all of them, but I love having the option of using colorful liners if I want to, even though I don't very much. I mentioned liquid eyeshadows. I have 0. I had 13, decluttered them all. Colourpop, Pixie, all gone. I don't use them. It's pointless. Can you see the shine I have now on my eyes? And it's a pressed powder eyeshadow. So I don't need liquids for sure. Same discussion, same point for my single eyeshadows. I had 6 Colourpop singles, and I have decluttered them all. So that category is at 0. I don't need them, I don't use them. I have a ton of eyeshadows in palettes or in single pans in palettes. I don't want single shadows. Unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but I still kept 5 pigments, and that is because it's some things that I can't press, like Neve Cosmetics Fondente, which is the most beautiful burgundy matte, but I cannot press that. I tried this year using the dry repress, but there isn't enough binder to keep it down, so I prefer to keep it loose. I have a few glitters that are loose. That it's not even glitters, it's mica flakes or so that are loose, and I don't press. And that's a little bit what I have, and I kept 5 pigments. Loose glitters, I had 3 and I decluttered them all. They were the 3 next ones and I decluttered them all. I don't need loose glitters. Nowadays you have pressed glitters that are great. The new Nabla Ruby Lights, for example. Colourpop has pressed glitters and I don't really use glitters very often, so that is fine. We made it to brow products. I have 7 and I had 10, so 3 less, and I am going to try to pare it down much more to just things that I like. So right now I'm on a mission with my project band to finish all of the brow pencils that I have open and all of the brow gels that I have open, because I only want to keep one of each. Actually no pencils at all, because I mean, these are not my favorite brows. I like them more feathery, less filled in, and this brow gel is also not making me love it. But we're using it to finish it because it's open. That's what we do. We don't waste. Try not to, at least. So I have 7 brow products. That's 3 less than last year. Mascara, I have 6, and it's the same number as last year, which is a bit surprising because I used a ton of minis last year. But yeah, so it is. I have still 2 minis to go through that I want to finish, and then I have 2 colorful mascaras that will always stay, and then I have a primer and a backup of my favorite Lash Sensational mascara. So that's where the 6 are from. 1 is closed, the others are open. I'm gonna try to finish the open ones, and I in principle only want the 2 colorful ones can stay because I only use them rarely, and I want a primer and a mascara. 4 things in this category. It's the only category that I really have, like there's a few categories that I really have goals for. The rest is all fine. Eye primers, I have 6. There's 2 more than the year before, and yeah, the goal is to go through them. I have some glitter primers, and that I'm not gonna finish for sure, so that was gonna stay. And I have like the Anastasia Beverly Hills primer that is really different from a daily primer for me. It's really like a cut crease type of tool. So I have 6 primers. I have 2 lip primers, which one would wonder why, because I never ever use lip primers. But it's not something that I can easily pass along, and it's handy sometimes to have either a mixing medium for lip products. That's one of the 2 that I have, and the other one is from Kiko. Setting sprays, I still have 2. I am almost finished with my Urban Decay All Nighter mini setting spray, and that I really use as a setting spray. And the other one is Fix Plus, which is also almost finished, but I will repurchase this because I use this for my soap brows as well as wetting my brushes when I apply metallic eyeshadows. So yeah, I think it's fine. I can finish the Urban Decay one. I really only use it for weddings, like important ceremony, things that need my makeup to last perfectly and long, things like that. And the final category that I have here is face primers, and I have 5, and I had 5, so nothing changed. Again, I thought I had finished some nice amount of minis, but I didn't. So I still have 5 primers. Probably one of them was like in my skincare drawer, and that's why I didn't see it previously, but yeah, so it is. And this was my makeup inventory. As you can see, I hope that for you also it was clear that actually my collection didn't change much, and that the biggest contributor remains my single eyeshadows. And I don't know, they've given me joy. I love my single eyeshadows. I love making custom palettes, and I love duping the vibes. It's something I really enjoy doing as a hobby, and making videos about it and taking photos and swatching color stories. I just really enjoy it. I don't see myself getting rid of them. Maybe one day I'll just sell my whole collection and say, here, someone have it. But first of all, it's just too much the value of it is huge, because except for the Makeup Geek eyeshadows, recently I bought everything myself. And just thinking about the value of that collection, for 600 pieces, average €3 a piece, because I usually buy on sale, if not more, because they're often €6 a piece. I don't know. It hurts my heart just to think about it, how much money there's in there. But yeah, that's me, who I am, what I like. And yeah, let me know what you think. I know that it's not a normal, everyday person's collection, but I am also aware that I have way less than other YouTubers, and I am actually quite happy with my collection now. I don't see big holes, and I don't see, yeah, there's a few categories that I can I can reduce, but the ones that are most problematic, that I have the most of, it's actually things that I see myself buying more, like palettes, lipsticks, things like that. So we will see. I am happy with the look of my collection now that I actually just put it all on my desk, because I hate not having things in front of my eyes, and I use them way less. So I have them all in front of me, and the look of it is not overwhelming, which is kind of the idea. And yeah, I am curious to hear your thoughts about it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.